One promise changed 2 generations. Years passed. Jonathan was gone. David became king, and most people would have assumed the promise had died with him. But one day, the king remembered, not because someone reminded him, and not because he had something to gain. He remembered simply because a covenant had been made. So David asked, "Is there still anyone left of the house of Saul that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake?" He wasn't looking for an opportunity. He was looking for a person. That search led to a forgotten man named Mephibosheth, living quietly in Lo-debar, far from the palace, far from influence, far from hope. Then the king came looking. Imagine what Mephibosheth must have been thinking. A crippled descendant of Saul, being summoned before the new king. He expected judgment. Instead, David reached toward him and said, "Do not fear." And everything changed in that moment. David restored his inheritance. He gave him a permanent place at the king's table. Because faithfulness keeps its word, even when there is no earthly advantage in doing so. That story was never meant to end with David. It points us to another king, one much greater than he. Like David, the king came looking for us. He called us by name. He spoke peace where we expected judgment. He restored what sin had stolen, and he invited us to his table. Before we remembered God, God remembered his covenant. The king came because the king is faithful. If that's your story, then the story of Mephibosheth is your story. Not because we deserved a seat at the king's table, but because the king never forgets his covenant.